Hi, my name is Samantha, and this is my extra credit string exercise. Okay, I've got 10 feet of yarn right here. I'm going to be talking about what would I do if I had $1 million. If I had $1 million, first I would take a portion of that and set it aside for my daughter's college fund. Okay, if I had $1 million, I would first take enough aside to put in my daughter's college fund. I would put enough aside to pay for her first 2 years of college, so then she could pay for the last 2 on her own. I would also take about, if I won $1 million, first I would take out enough money to put aside in a college fund for my daughter, enough to pay for the first 2 years of college, so the last 2 years she could pay on her own. I would then put aside enough money to put down on a down payment for a mortgage on a home, so we could move into a beautiful home instead of living in this little apartment. Then I would go out and I would buy my fiance some new clothes. I would buy myself some
You said
clothes. Shoot. If I won $1 million, first thing I would do is I would put aside enough money to pay for the first 2 years of my daughter's college, and I would put in a college fund, so then she could pay for the last 2 years of college on her own. I would then put aside enough money to use as a down payment on a mortgage for a home, so then we wouldn't have to live in this small apartment anymore. I would buy my fiance some clothes, I would buy myself some clothes, and I would buy my daughter some clothes. I would make sure that this next Christmas was all paid for. I would buy myself a new car, because mine's a junker, and then, okay, start over. If I were to win $1 million, the first thing I would do is I would put aside enough money in a college fund for my daughter to pay for the first 2 years of college, so then she could pay for the second 2 years on her own. I would put aside enough money to put as a down payment on a mortgage for a home. I would then go and I would buy my fiance some clothes, myself some clothes, and my daughter some clothes. I would make sure that this Christmas was all paid for. I would then buy myself a new car, because my car is a junker. I would buy gifts for my family and some gifts for my friends. I would send my parents and my mother-in-law and father-in-law to Mexico, and I would put the rest aside for a wedding.